Hi, I'm Noelle Hyman from paperclipping.com, and we're in the Ranger booth, and we're going to look at the Ranger Designer Challenge. They do a designer challenge every year, and they give the artists a specific product that they need to use, and in this case they decided to go with the Dina Wakley Media, her full-bodied paint. And then they went to a variety of different artists and some scrapbookers and got their take on using it. So this is Dina's, and you can see lots of texturing here with probably texture paste or something like that. And then we come over here and we've got Tammy Teterow, and she's got all this dimension here with the florals, and this is one of Tim Holtz's ideology little corked bottles, corked vials. We've got some gears and things, and over here is one of his newer kind of, I can't remember what these are called, but you can dye those with alcohol ink. We got a video of that earlier. And then down below that is Lisa Pace. She's got a little bit more of an artsy thing going on with these little side borders and the glitter, and this kind of crepe paper skirt for this tag here. So far we've got three completely different styles and looks with the paint. And then we have right here this artist named Mistel, and she's an art journaler, so she took her canvas board and turned it into a kind of an art journal. So there's the board back there, and then she added these pages. So we've got some tags here, lots of texturing in those, and it looks like she covered it all with maybe a gel medium, because there's a glossy finish to it. So she did a lot for her contribution. And this actually has a button with a string that shuts it like this, which I'm trying to do with my left hand. That's hard to do. Okay. And then we've got Sherry Carroll here with her Be True heart and her use of layering the paints with this right in there from what looks like a stencil. I like how she used this change of color. And then down below we've got Rochelle Christensen, and she did a bit of dimension with a shadow box and a Tim Holtz piece here and some words. She has some shadowing in there. So she took the colors that she had and then created the hearts, and then she splattered and added darkness around the outside of the hearts, so the hearts show up a little bit brighter. Up here we've got Robin Marie Smith, which is a very art journal-y kind of look with the layers, and there's layers underneath, if you can see, like looks like scribbled handwriting in there too. And then we've got Jenny Doe with her, is that a cello maybe? Not sure. Practice. And you can see how, because it's a thick full-bodied paint, you can scratch into it. So you might have something underneath, and then you lay a thick layer over it, and then you can take the end of a pen, like an old pen or your paintbrush, and scratch into it and have the older color show from underneath. Here we've got Lorraine Bell, and she used a lot of cool blues and a warm yellowy green and the whites there. All right, let's move over to this side, and this is Tim Holtz's very own. He took the color and he added letter stickers and things in there, and then he painted all kinds of colors over it, and then to make it his own, he splattered it and rubbed it with a lot of browns and brown tones. And then he used a bunch of his ideology pieces in these little shadow boxes. I'm really excited about these. I think these are super cute. They're just kind of a sneak peek of something to come, basically those. But those are not available yet, except the metal frame is. Down below here we have Wendy Vecchi with her birds and this layered paper, and it looks like she's used some kind of wood or something hard underneath the plant here to give it a real thick dimension. And this is on a chipboard, and you can see how she did a crackle effect with the paint on the top of the, not corkboard, the clipboard. Then we've got Mosaha with a lot of layering of vibrant colors, and you can see that she probably used some stencils to create just different layers of dimension and paint and images going on underneath there. Okay, and then on the other side we still have a whole group more. We've got Jim R. Hankins, and this is super thick. I want to say it's like 4 inches thick maybe, and there's little lights. I wonder if those are LED lights. He's got these wires wrapped around these hearts, and then he's painted all these different layers of something that's kind of thick and dimensional, and hand cut them and put dark colors. So maybe it was stamped with something else, and then he cut them apart and layered them, and all those layers of paint. It creates a lot of visual interest when you just work in a lot of layers and cover up things you did before, only part way. This is Tracy Bautista here. And she uses a lot more dark tones, but then has these vibrant colors popping out, and then bits of white for contrast. And then Jen McGuire. So now we've got a card maker, former scrapbooker here, and she's, you know, somebody who likes to use a lot of really vibrant, bright colors, and she got a really thick effect with the paint. I'm guessing maybe she mixed it with maybe a dimensional paste or something to get that dimension in there for the U and the heart. All right, coming up this way, we have Diane Reevely, and she's got a lot of the blacks with the color scribbles coming through. This cute flower with one of Tim Holtz's little, I got to figure out what those are called, I can't remember. And all these different pieces, kind of like a mosaic, it looks like, that have been cut up, painted and cut up and then layered onto each other. Down below we've got Kate Crane, and she's using a contrast in color by having all these cool tones with the blues and the greens and these blackish, I think it's like a blue-black, but then she's layered on the top of it these red and pink butterflies and the stripes there. Below we've got Julie Faye Van Balzer, and kind of pop art, I think here. It says art and life and the eye, and so she's done some color blocking and really shown the vibrancy of these colors contrasted with the bluish black and the white there. All right, let's move over a little bit farther. One more group here. This is Debbie Tlack, and she's got her cat here, and you can see she's got like this, I really like the way these colors blend from the orange and then down into these other kind of golden colors, and it's a really nice blending with the white. Here is Rhonda Palazzari. Again, lots of vibrant colors, and then you get some darker colors in here, and she's cut out a bunch of different pieces and layered them. So it looks like maybe she painted the whole thing with the vibrant colors. There's little pieces underneath. There's a circle, like a textured circle in there, and then she would lay a card or a tag here and one here, and maybe sprayed or painted on top of that, and kept adding more. Down here we've got Tangi Baxter, and she's created what I think is, she's created a heart with what I think is like a tissue paper, and it's all bunched up in there. I would guess maybe she used a little water or gel medium, or maybe both. I'm sure it's gel medium probably. And then there's a bunch of glitter layered on top of the paint. And we've got Paula Cheney, and she has this really soft floral background that's also layered with papers to give it dimension. And you know, then it's painted on top, and all these flowers and things, torn paper down here. And then she's created a frame with some old vintage book paper and a ruler down here. It's like a soft fabric ruler. We've got an old vintage fork, and then a photo that I think is part of Tim Holtz's collections of those old photos. We've got Christy Tomlinson with the cute angel wings and the like antler type branch antlers. This very vibrant red that sort of pops out from the black and from everything else. And then her skirt seems to be lots of different patterns that maybe she even painted herself, I'm not sure, drew and painted, and cut them into strips to create that skirt. We've got May Flom here, and she went with some really, really cool tones. Her purple and pinks are really cool and go with that soft blue, a little bit of yellow to warm it up, and some of these orange layers. And this is really dimensional. It's a lot of paper. I'm thinking maybe watercolor paper, and then lots of layers of buttons and flowers and little things in there, and added the word color. So these are just samples of the work of lots of different artists, all using the Dina Wakley Media, which is her paint, a nice full-bodied thick paint, which you can thin out if you want to, or keep it nice and full. And this is all for Ranger. I'm Noelle Hyman with paperclipping.com.